I just went 4 days without eating. Here's what really happened. So I did a 4-day water fast, and I want to really share the candid results of kind of how things went. I'll walk you through why I did it, my mindset, and my before and after weight. So let's just jump right into it. So my personal journey is I was recently on a vacation with my family, and I wasn't able to take my kids on some of the rides that they wanted to go on. So when we finished our vacation, I made it a goal that I wanted to be able to come back next August to the same place and be able to ride the rides with them, which meant that I needed to lose around 100 pounds, if not a little bit more. So that's what started this, is I really wanted to get into a space where I can set a goal, do it, and just get my weight down. I know that I've been overweight for a long time. My background is I've been a nurse on nights for a long time, and that really started things off. I really gained a lot of weight coming right out of high school because I went into healthcare and worked nights. I think I packed on like 90 pounds. So talk about freshman 15, I did freshman 90. And since then, it's just really been very hard to keep my weight under control because it's out of control, honestly. So I started this journey to really focus in on that. I wanted to be healthier. I'm 38 years old. I'm about to be 40. I want to be in better shape than what I am because I want to be there for my kids and I want to go do the things with them that make them happy because it makes me happy as well. So weight loss goals, again, back to the mission of this whole channel is just to lose 100 pounds. And I want to get as many people that I can that are still struggling with that same thing like I am together, and we can just kind of build this out together and support each other. The reason that I did the fasting first is I really wanted to create discipline. I think sometimes in general, myself, I know, we typically do not give ourselves enough credit for the ability to control how we act and how we feel, even as adults. I see it in my kids all the time. I see it in other kids, but as adults, we have the same problem. So this fasting challenge was more so for my discipline. Hey, control your hunger, control your thoughts. Don't give in to these things when, you just feel like you need it on a whim. So that was really the goal of this. The second kind of sub goal of this, I've been looking a lot into how to lose fat. How does your body use fat? How long does it take to get to that source of energy? And a lot of the stuff that I was finding was saying that you really had to work out for an hour strictly, or if you were doing high intensity stuff like that, which I would assume if most people are looking to lose 100 pounds, they probably aren't able to endure high intensity workouts yet. But if you're walking, which is what I wanted to start with, it takes around an hour before your body finally kicks the glycogen and glucose out of your bloodstream and starts using fat as the energy source. Well, the problem with that is we're busy. I have two little kids that are in sports, and there's just a lot of things going on in our world, and I don't always have an hour every day to walk, and that wouldn't even then begin to hit the fat loss that I needed. So I would have to walk more than an hour. So I was like, okay, well, what if I get myself into a ketosis based system where I'm burning fat primarily, and then everything on top of that just burns more fat? That's my thinking. I am a nurse, but I am not very good with like endocrine stuff. So I'm basically thinking that's how it all works based off of the research I've done, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm just kind of going from the hip here. But it makes the most sense to me, and I think that most people that are in that realm of trying to lose weight, like especially a lot of weight, they're probably thinking the same things. Well, how do I've worked out, 5 days this week, and I haven't lost any fat, and my scale shows that I'm, the same as I was, but I've put on muscle mass that I don't realize. I put on muscle mass very quickly, so I tend to try to hold off on heavy lifting, but I do want to get back to it. I love it, but at this point in my weight loss journey or mission, I just don't feel like it's a good move yet. That is kind of the reason why I did the fasting challenge. The mindset behind it was really strong in the beginning. So I was really excited to do it. I wanted to show myself that I could do it. And here I am on day 5, and I'm finally getting to drink calories again. I'm starting with bone broth because everything I've seen says you need to do that. But mindset wise, there was a shift. About day 3, I really had this feeling of like, oh my God, there's 2 more days left and I hurt. My stomach hurts. I'm losing energy. But I noticed on day 3 that about halfway through the day, I definitely just felt stronger. I felt better. And then yesterday, which would have been day 4, I really felt that like I can do this. It's almost done. I'm really not hungry. So the mindset shift in 4 days was quite drastic. Like it was excited to down in the dumps, like I can't do this, to today being like, yeah, knocked the crap out of that challenge and I feel really good about it. And then at the end of this, I'll kind of show you the results weight wise. I did take a video of like what I look like now and a video of the weight that I'm at. I'll put those in later, so make sure to stick around for that. But I really want to just break down the day to day. I kind of gave you a very high overview of that. So like I said, day one was very confident, like, hey, still had plenty of energy. It was only 12 hours without fasting or without eating prior to the challenge. So I felt fine. I was like, okay, hey, I can do this. Not really having any struggles. It's just one day. I did get some hunger pains throughout the day. Usually evening time is when we do our big family dinner. When dinner came around and I'm cooking dinner for other people, it was harder to not eat the food. And at the same time, like, I wanted to share that time with my family still. So that was tough between the hunger pain and just the mental, side of it. Day two was a little bit better. I almost blew the whole challenge on day two. My daughter needed a snack for school and she wanted popcorn. So I was filling up her popcorn bag and there was a couple kernels that didn't fit in there. So I just pulled one out and ate it like I normally do and stopped myself, spit it out. And then that same night I made dinner for the family and it was even harder. So it was like day two of not eating. It was like, okay, here I'm making this dinner for everybody and I can't eat it. So that seems to be the biggest pain point for me is when I cook dinner and I'm not able to eat with my family. I still sat in there, still did things with them, but wasn't able to eat the dinner with them. So that's kind of the overview of day two. Day two was very quick. Like, I don't remember much of day two. We had baseball games and football games, so it was fast. Day three, I woke up and I was surprised that I didn't feel hungry, but I definitely had more energy, but I still had this in the back of my mind of like, oh my goodness, I have to get through today and tomorrow before I can eat again. So even though I felt better, there was still that in the back of my head of like, okay, I still have 48 hours to get through before I can have a meal. So I was starting to feel kind of that down again of like, okay, yeah, I got to get through this. I got to keep going. That was day three wasn't horrible. Like energy wise, I felt very good. Clarity wise, like I typically have a lot of thoughts that go through my mind on a day to day basis, and I really didn't have that on Wednesday. And I think that's because ketosis does kind of help with clarity a little bit, is from what I've seen. And I would have to agree with that. I felt pretty like when I wanted to do something, it was time to go do it, and I would just go do it. I didn't have the normal lag of like, oh, I don't want to get up and do that. It was just like, boom, okay, go get it. Day four was really the strongest day. And honestly, there's some questions I asked myself that I'll go over here in a second. But when I woke up in the morning on day four, I felt really good. Like was not hungry. I felt energized. I've probably slept the best I've ever slept this whole week prior to doing the fasting. Like it was a solid week of sleep. I was going to bed by 10 o'clock because I was tired and I didn't want to have that like feeling of like I need to eat something late at night. So I felt really good sleeping wise, would wake up with a ton of energy, get the kids off to school, come back home, kind of work around the house as much as I needed to, but just very strong clearness on like, hey, here's what I need to do today. Let's go do it. The afternoon was pretty quick. I got the kids home from school, we cleaned the house up, and really they ask for snacks a lot, so it doesn't bother me that they want snacks. But there are times where it's like, I want a snack too. I haven't eaten in 4 days. So there were some of that, but the hardest part was actually dinner last night. Because my son came home from football practice and he's like, hey, can we have pizza that we got from his baseball fundraiser? I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Pizza doesn't sound good to me, but I'll bake it. So I threw it in the oven, and I kid you not, if pizza smelled any better any other day, I would have eaten it. It smelled amazing last night. And I still came downstairs and walked away because I was like, no, I'm not. I'm getting through this challenge. It's only 12 more hours, whatever it was. I'm getting through it. And I was so mad that I could not have that pizza because it smelled so darn good. So it was like, okay, hey, I do have control over some of this. Like I can tell myself, no, I don't need to eat that. But there are things that pop up and it's like, I want that. So that's kind of the whole point of this fast, was to show myself that, hey, you can say no to more things than what you do. You don't always have to give in to every feeling, every craving that comes along. I started this at 354 pounds. I've had my share of doing my cravings and just letting my body take over, and I'm done with that. So the funny thing, and this is what I was talking about earlier, the funny thing is when I went to bed last night, I actually asked myself, I wonder how many more days I could go if I wanted to. How many more days of fasting could I go if I wanted to, because I've done 4 days and I feel good? So it's like, some of that kicked in and was like, well, should I go for a fifth day? No, I want to end today. I can come back to fasting in the future. And I think I will try to do it more often because it does make me feel really good after you get through the crap of the first couple days. That's kind of the overall breakdown. I know that was very long winded, but I want to go over kind of the final results here. 4 days fasting, I drank only water. I did add in coffee Wednesday and Thursday. So day 3 and day 4. I'm excited to announce that as of this morning, I am down. I started this at 354.7. I'm down to 342.2. So that is a 12.5 pound loss in 4 days. I feel really good about that. Now, is this something you should do every week? No, absolutely not. I would not put yourself through this. But you could do it once in a while to show yourself, hey, I can do this. Start small, 24-hour one, 48-hour one, 72-hour ones. I've already done those in the past when I was trying to lose weight, so I felt strong that I could do a 4-day one. The last time I tried a 4-day one, I stopped at 3.5 days. So I was excited to be able to finish it, but I liked the results that I got from doing it. Not only the mental clarity and the confidence in my ability to make decisions and stick with those decisions and complete things, but just overall how I feel about this whole challenge. So it was definitely worth it for me. It may not be something that you can take on, but if you can, and you don't have any health concerns that would do that, I would recommend like a day a week, take a 24-hour day and just don't eat for that day. I know going forward, I'm going to incorporate more fasting. So I've looked up a couple different plans like intermittent fasting. Fine, that's an easy one. But I also saw one that was a 5 and 2. So you eat 5 days of the week and you take 2 days of fasting, but those days can't be consecutively. So that's something that I was like, oh, that actually sounds like a pretty good idea. There's a couple days in the week that I have high caloric intake just because of the things we're doing. So it's like if I could control myself on those days, maybe then this weight loss doesn't go up and down as much as it has in the past. I want to thank you for following this 4-day journey. I'm going to be posting more challenges as I go forward, so I will be teasing those with shorts as I think of them, and then I'll post result videos at the end of the week on Fridays, just so you can kind of see what transpired during the week. So make sure to subscribe if you want to follow the journey. Remember, this is just the beginning for me. I have a lot of things planned on my 100-pound mission.